We're going to do the 5-number summary. We're going to do this problem with when we have an odd amount of numbers, 13 numbers, and then I'm going to do it again after this one with the even amount because there's different things that you need to do. So we have 13 numbers. Make sure they're in order, and they are 4, 5, 7. The easy part are minimum and maximum. So the smallest number is 4, so that's our minimum. And the largest number is 96, that's our maximum. So we have 13 numbers, so that's odd. So we're going to divide 13 by 2, which is going to give us 6.5. So that means we're going to look at the 7th number to get the median. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 41 is our median. So I've got 4 here for the minimum. I got 96 here for the maximum. And I got 41 for the median. So now to figure the first quartile, we're going to take 25% of n. And this 13 is the n. Okay, so n equals 13. So I'm going to change that to a decimal, 0.25 times 13. And when I do that in the calculator, now it says do not use calculator, but what they are meaning is there are some scientific or some graphing calculators that you can use and put the numbers in, and they'll just automatically give you the 5-number summary. That's what they're talking about, not using your calculator to multiply 25 and 13. That will give us 3.25. Now, you want a decimal number. That's good, and you always round up. Don't follow the decimal rules, because decimal rules, you'd do that as a 3. But no, with this 5-number summary, anytime you have a decimal part, you round it up. So we're going to look at the 4th number. That is going to be our quartile 1. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 13. So that's our quartile 1 is 13. It's just a coincidence. We have 13 numbers, and that's a 13. Just a coincidence. Now, the 75%, we're going to multiply 0.75 times 13 equals, again, use your calculator. You're going to put in 0.75 and then times 13, and you get 9.75. That's a decimal number. That's a good thing, and I'll show you why in the next problem we don't get a decimal number, and so there's extra steps. So this goes up to 10. So we want the 10th number. So this was, let's see, I'll just start over. 2, 4, 6, and that's 7, 8, 9, 10. So 71 is our 10th number. So there is our 5-number summary: 4, 13, 41, 71, and 96. That is when we have an odd set of numbers. Now the next problem is with, now we have 12. We have an even amount of numbers. So the minimum, make sure that these are in order. So make sure in order. And these are. I haven't seen one yet that isn't. So our minimum is a 1. And our maximum is 98. So the first spot is 1, the last spot is 98. Then we're going to figure the median. Take the number of items we have. Remember, this is the n. Divide by 2. That gives us a 6. So that means we have to look at the 6th and 7th number. So when there's an odd amount of numbers, we'll have one middle number. But when there's an even amount, you're going to have 2 middle numbers. So if you look at this, if you count to the 6th number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right here. And if you count backwards from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it would be right there. So you are going to average 53 and 65. So use a calculator. Now it says do not use a calculator, but again, that means using a graphing calculator where you just put in all these numbers and it tells you the 5-number summary. you can use a calculator to figure out your percentages and your averages. So I'm going to add those up. Then I'm going to divide by 2. And 118 divided by 2 is 59. So my median is 59. So what I did was here, I took 53 plus 65 and added those together, divided by 2, and that gave me 59. So now our quartiles. We are going to take, for the first quartile, it's 25%. I'm going to change that to decimal, 0.25, and I'm going to multiply it by the n, which is the number of numbers I have, which is 12. And 0.25 times 12 is going to give me 3. Now, that's a whole number. On the other problem that we just did, we had decimal numbers, so we automatically rounded up. This, you're going to have to take the third, and the next one, the fourth, and average. So we're looking at the third number and the fourth number. So 1, 2, 3. The third number is 27, and the fourth number is 41. And then we're going to divide that by 2. So that gives us 68 divided by 2, which equals 34. So our quartile 1 is 34. Now, to find the quartile 3, we're using 0.75 times n, which is 12. We're going to multiply that together. That will give us 9. Can't use 9 because it's not a decimal number where you go up 1. So we're going to do 9th, and the next one the 10th. And we're going to average those two together. So the 9th and the 10th is 2, 4, 6, 8. 9th is 82, and the 10th is 89. We're going to add those together, divide by 2. 9 plus 2 is 11, carry the 1, so that's 171 over 2 equals, and 2 will go into 171, 85.5 times, and it stops. So we're going to use 85.5. That is our third quartile. And go ahead and use that decimal number. So minimum, maximum, make sure your numbers are in order. If it's an odd amount of numbers, you're going to have a middle one. If it's an even amount, you're going to have 2 middle ones, so you have to average them together. If when you're doing the quartiles, you get a whole number, then you're going to have to do that whole number plus the next one and average those together. If you get a decimal number, round up always. Doesn't matter if your decimal's 3.2, lower than 5. Round up always. Let me know if you have questions.